Persons wishing to address the board on any agenda or non-agendized item must fill out a speaker card. We do have a few for the item later. We will now start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Excuse me, I want to go home.
Ready to begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the born and unborn.
But not that. Oops, probably shouldn't have said that. Just go ahead and
Thank you, Joe. We have adopted the agenda. We have a motion.
get started.
Motion by Joe, second by Juliana. Please vote when it comes up.
Jeez, does not want to stay. I wonder if it's working.
Yep, got it, Karen.
Give me 1 second, where I'm having a bit of a. I think this just.
Here we are. Board, while we move forward, let's do this as an oral vote. All in favor of adopting the agenda, please say aye. Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, the matter passes. Next, we have a report out of closed session. It was moved by Anthony and seconded by Joe that the board, there approved compensatory services agreement, case number DS 2022-23-04. David, we have got to work on your name. Thank you. That vote passed 5-0. Next matter on the agenda is the student discipline matter. It's recommended that the governing board approve the recommendations of the administrative hearing panel in the matter of student 2022/2023 AH11. Do we have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Karen, second by Joe. We will have the vote when it comes. Pass that back to you. Did everybody vote? Matter passes 5-0. Moving to the consent agenda. We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Karen. Any questions on the consent agenda? Hearing none, please vote. moving into action items at this point. And I just want to make a quick comment before we go into the action items. One, it's great to see all these kids in the full house. And thank you for coming tonight. Two, I apologize, but I do have to leave, give or take 5:15. So you'll see a passing of the gavel between myself and Vice President Mejia here, who is going to usurp me in a matter of seconds and take over the balance of the meeting if I do have to leave. We have not completed the meeting at that point in time. I just want you to know. So coming to action item 9A. It is recommended that the governing board adopt the proclamations in support of Employee Appreciation Weeks. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Karen. Second by Juliana. Any comments or discussion? Hearing none, please vote. Matter passes 5-0. 9B. It's recommended that the governing board award bid 1599 to GEM Industrial Electric Inc. in the total amount of $1,184,000 as the lowest responsive bidder, and authorize staff to approve necessary change orders subject to ratification and accept the project upon completion. Do we have a motion on this matter?
Motion.
Motion by Joe. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Anthony. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, please vote. The matter passes 5-0. Moving on to 9C. It's recommended that the governing board award bid 1598 by line item to the lowest responsible bidders as outlined. Authorize staff to approve necessary change orders subject to ratification and accept the project upon completion. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Joe. Second by Juliana. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, please vote. Matter passes 5-0. We now move to 9D. It is recommended that the governing board adopt resolution for issuance and sale of 2023 general obligation refunding bonds in a principal amount not to exceed $23 million, and authorize staff to execute the necessary documents. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Joe. Second by Juliana. Any questions or comments? Yes, do we have a brief possible presentation?
Yeah, I don't see Dale in the audience though, so.
In short, Scott, you want to just give a quick summary?
Yeah, this is like, kind of like refunding your, refinancing your house. This is a refunding of the bonds, so we previously sold bonds that the community is paying back. And when interest rates drop, or we're able to get a better interest rate, then we try to refinance them and save the community taxpayers money. And so in this case, we're estimating a little over $5 million in savings for our community, by refinancing these bonds. And it seems like interest rates are going up right now, and it seems counterproductive or counterintuitive, but in reality, based on what we sold these at, it will be a savings for taxpayers. So, we try to bring this back every year or two, just to make sure we're doing the due diligence for our community and support our schools and these bonds in the first place.
Excellent. Sure.
So in that measure, it's something that I learned over the weekend, that measure C, is actually a repeated letter. So when I was reading Measure C, I actually had to call Scott and have him explain to me that Measure C was also a $20 million bond for our technology. So it was the same bond letter, and I was confused, but he explained to me that even though we have two Measure Cs, it's just the way the registrar issues the identification of the sale. Just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, Joe. I believe the vote came up, if you have the opportunity. And the matter passes 5-0. I think we can all agree that saving $5 million is a district. Moving on to 9E, consulting agreements. It is recommended that the board approve the consultants listed. Do we have a motion?
I would like to pull number 16 and vote on it separately. Motion to pull 16 and vote on it separately.
I also have a question on one. I'm sorry, I didn't get to Karen and ask her about this, but in regards to the librarian. Number. Yes, oh yeah, it's number 2. So, a librarian who monitors newly published print and digital books for school. I was trying to find a code or bylaw that helps to define what the content of these books are.
I can get information, what we do in most districts. Excuse me. We contract with a county librarian who reviews, books that would be appropriate for public education. I don't have all of the, screens that they would use to make those things, I can get you those, but that's, instead of filtering at a district level, when we're purchasing books for libraries, across the district, this is the filter we use.
And so, but these are digital books, right? Oh, printed digital, okay. All right, thank you. If you can, let me just bring that.
So I just wanna make sure I explained the motion from Anthony correctly. Anthony, do you vote to approve with the separation of number 16 to be considered separately?
Yes.
Okay, do we have a second to Anthony's motion? Second by Karen. So we will vote, but we will only vote on 1 through 15, and then we'll have a separate vote on 16. Items 1 through 15 passed, 5-0. Anthony, please proceed. Any questions you may have on 16?
Okay, so I've read through this memorandum of understanding between Digital Promise and Cajon Valley that is attached to that agenda item. And it talks about how they will, they're offering a new initiative, Cybersecurity Pathways for Opportunity Youth. And then they go on to say, they will be using the Cybersecurity Pathways program for high school students who are the furthest from opportunity, including multilingual learners, students of color, students experiencing poverty, and our students experiencing learning differences. It goes on to talk about how they'll pay certain people to be a part of this study, that if needed, they'll involve an independent review board. It seems, and maybe staff can confirm, are students subjects in a study here? Is that why they're referring to an independent review board and just private, like, they're saying none of the data will be individualized, but I read through it a couple times, I couldn't really understand what they're doing. They have a lot of, inclusivity language and stuff that led me to believe that it wasn't for all students as
If you
well.
have any information, Karen, please share. If not, I'll share it with limited resources I have.
I can say that the program is intended for all students of interest in this field according to their biosec interest levels. So it is not intended for a certain demographic, and the opportunity is for all students at Boston.
And that was my take on it too, but I noted that they, in theory, targeted, but it was inclusive to all, that I read it. And Digital Promise, which has been an organization we've been very well affiliated with, I think it's more of a, and David's correct me if I'm wrong, it's reaching out to, for lack of a better term, those kids in Title I schools specifically that don't always have some of the additional supports, or I should say that some districts that have Title I money don't use the money for the additional support that they're entitled to. But Dave, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, the design for our school is different from the other schools and districts in the pilot, in that all students in Bostonia will participate in the program. The entry-level cybersecurity classes are a lot like the entry-level code.org computer science curriculum that teaches kids how computers are used in business and the advances in artificial intelligence, machine learning, things that are relevant to any work industry. And so we want all kids at Bostonia to have that freshman sophomore. The junior senior years are more languages, certifications that they'll use to earn cybersecurity jobs. And not all students want to do that. Some students will want to use their hands-on activities. Some students want to do business and law. But we do think that a lot of our students will gravitate to cybersecurity.
Yeah, so it is available to all students at Bostonia.
Not all, each one.
Okay, each student, yeah.
Each and every, awesome. The second part, if they're talking about paying people to participate in the study, they're talking about, you know, anonymizing student data, they're talking about bringing in an independent review board if necessary. What are they studying exactly?
The efficacy of the programs to workforce intercalation.
So they wanna
see if
potentially track a student to see if they wind up in the job that they trained for?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's all the questions I have, thank you.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Should I make a motion to adopt?
Yes.
MOU? Motion to adopt the MOU?
Motion by Anthony, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Please vote, and we'll make that a verbal vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? Hearing none, passes 5-0. Thank you for the conversation, Anthony. Moving on to F. It's recommended that the governing board award bid 1,600 by line item to the lowest responsible bidder as outlined. Authorize staff to approve necessary change orders subject to ratification and accept the project upon completion. This is the exciting asphalt project. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Joe. Second by Juliana. Please vote. It's interesting, right? When you think of asphalt, right? It's not the most exciting thing we possibly do in a sport. At the same point in time, it's a $500,000 outlay and how important it is.
I get excited about asphalt.
I know you do. Again, that's that construction background. Now I know you're gonna get really excited to talk about flooring next. It's recommended, passes 5-0. Next, item G. It is recommended that the governing board award bid 1601 by line item to the lowest responsive and responsible bidders as outlined. Authorize staff to approve necessary change orders, subject to ratification, and accept project upon completion. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Karen, second by Jim. Any questions, discussion?
Wine.
Hearing none, please vote.
Toxin-free wine.
Passes 5-0. Moving to 9C. It is recommended that the governing board authorize staff to award RFP 1607 upon opening to the proposer offering the best overall value based on factors in addition to price as per PCC 20-118.2 with ratification at a subsequent board meeting. This is the Chromebook replacement project that we have each year using the ESSER fund. Do we have a motion? Motion by Karen. Second by Joe. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, please vote. Matter passes 5-0. Next, going to 9I. It is recommended that the governing board approve the purchase of up to 9 district fleet vehicles at a total cost of up to $685,000 without competitive bidding, and make a finding that there is no current advantage to competitive bidding. Board, we've had this discussion a couple of times. The vehicles for our particular need are exactly that, a particular need of the park line. So do we have a motion? Motion by Joe, second by Juliana. Any additional comments or discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote, please. And the motion passes 5-0. Moving to 9J, which is our last action item. It is recommended that the governing board approve the services of Nino and Moore for geotechnical materials and testing and special inspection services, and authorize staff to execute the necessary documents. Do we have a motion? Motion by Joe. Second. Second by Juliana. Any questions or discussion? Please vote. Excellent, Johnson, Madam Chair.
Head back.
And that matter passes 5-0. Moving now to 10A, recognition of our safety patrol winners.
This may be our first time doing this, so President Miller, if you'll have our board join you in front of the dais.
Will please walk in front of the dais.
As our board gets in position, each year the district is contracted by the Department of California Highway Patrol and asked to conduct interviews to select a nominee to represent the district for the Colonel of San Diego County Schools Safety Patrol competition. This year, Savannah and Arwen were both selected as the Cajon Valley Union School District representatives. The Colonel is an honorary title bestowed upon the winner of an oral interview competition among 6 school districts: Cajon Valley, Chula Vista, La Mesa Spring Valley, Lakeside, Ramona, and Santee. Each district sends 1 or 2 representatives to compete for this title, and the winner receives an all-expense trip to Sacramento for a VIP tour of the state capitol and official state resolution. The winners promoted to colonel, and runners-up are promoted to lieutenant colonel and major. We are very pleased that Savannah Downing and Arwen Steele, can we give a hand to Savannah Downing and Arwen Steele? County Office of Ed in January. The winner and runners-up were announced at the San Diego Zoo. We are happy to announce that Savannah Downing was promoted to major, and Arwen Steele was promoted to lieutenant colonel in this promotion.
There you go. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Karen, David, do you see our TEDx speakers?
We're calling them down there to practice upstairs, and they were close by at 30.
Want to go to the public hearing and then back?
Is Howard with them? He just peeked his head around the corner.
From upstairs.
Let's do that first. TEDx speakers are here.
Alright, so folks, we are going to have our TEDx speakers coming down here in a moment. I love hearing these kids, and I'm fortunate to have heard most of them before. So, you're in store for a treat. It's a good time to hand off the gavel. Karen, please take over. I appreciate you handling that.
Is he coming? Bring it up.
Standing room only.
Welcome to Cajon 2022. It's our 8th year, and this year we're at the Magnolia Theater. This year we have 19 speakers. They range from 4th grade this year all the way to 12th grade, and they are giving amazing talks about their stories, experiences, hopes, dreams, great ideas. This year, outside of our talks, we have an amazing outdoor experience for our attendees. And this year I'm very excited. We have so much support from our community here in Oklahoma. We have city council support. We have community members that are here wanting to meet our speakers. So it's not just our district that is involved, but we really have a community around us supporting our speakers.
Come on, people. We created the internet. We can interrupt our quick judgments, explore biases, learn, and grow.
My daughter, she's one of the TEDx Kids speakers, and to be honest, this event is really a huge event because it is kind of like open opportunities in terms of our kids. It's amazing. If you encourage to do something with your future, it's sharing your thoughts, sharing your dreams, and your life story together. So we are really blessed.
Like, you might think, oh, little kids, they might not have like such strong stories, but a lot of them are talking about like very good topics that are like super inspiring. You know, we see a lot of different people with like, different backgrounds, different stories, and you know they're all here to talk about like their perspectives and you know open your mind more to see like from a different angle.
Everyone should be equal regardless of gender. Imagine a world where your gender did not define you. Imagine a world where everybody had opportunities for success. I want to imagine this world and make it a reality by continuing to promote wellness ideals and equal rights for everyone.
Whether your success is big or small, it could change the world for the better. So, go out and be the successful person you want to be.
I believe that this is an amazing event not only because it showcases diversity here in El Cajon, but also because it places students front and center, not only in terms of their voice, but also share their true authentic selves so that they can speak the truth. And also imagine, as the theme is for today, what a future for not only El Cajon could look like, but for students of color.
Now, when I think of my future, I'm excited to see who I'll become. I can't wait to continue to be my authentic self.
I've tried my best to imagine the impossible. And I think that when you imagine the impossible, you can get super close to actually doing the impossible. Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world.
We'll hand it over to Jen Petraglia, and Jen, the microphone is right here.
Thank you so much for waiting. We're told 5:30. Things happen real fast, so thank you. Well, tonight is our normal TEDx practice night. Is the mic on? It's on.
I don't think it's on, so push it on.
Hello, testing. There we go. Okay. Hello. We are in the thick of practicing for our next TEDx event, May 6th. Tonight you will see some of our speakers that were selected. We had a total of 121 applications this year, students that were submitted applications to be a speaker. We selected 21, representing 18 different schools in Oklahoma. So super excited. We have grades 3rd all the way through 11th represented this year at our event. Tonight, you're going to see a little bit of what our event speakers are going to look like. It's our normal practice night, so you're going to see they're not perfect yet. We're practicing a little behind the scenes of what we're doing. Tonight is the first night we're practicing with slides, so bear with them. But we do have two of our hosts here with us as well. So Ryan and Sana, you want to come on up? They're going to kind of help me introduce the kids for you guys tonight.
Does the mic come off?
It doesn't seem correct to present
The
this way. The audience, we are the audience. We want to see you. So present.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sana Habibi, and I will be one of your hosts for tonight. And I am Ryan Kumi. Thank you for joining us tonight. To start us off, our first speaker is 3rd grader from WD Hall talking about the key to being an important person. Please welcome Ava Babriaska to the stage. What makes an important person important? We hear them on the radio, we read them in books, we learn them in class. I was reading a book about Albert Einstein. I wondered, how did he start from nothing and now he's so famous? I wondered, how can I become important? The first thing I did was ask my dad, because everybody knows that parents never are. But all I got was money. I knew he was joking, but I wasn't really sure. So I kept on thinking, because I was trying to find that they all have in common. I thought every important person I read. But I realized not every important person was which. So I kept on thinking. I was stumped. The next day, I went to school. My teacher, Mr. Spencer, was teaching us about a growth mindset. If you don't
don't know what a growth mindset is, it's when you try again, learn from your mistakes, and set goals for yourself. So I thought again. Do famous or important people have a growth mindset? After school, I went home. I went straight to my books. I looked at every history book I had. It was a yes. Look at Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was an inspiration for women across the world to keep on reaching for the goals, even when they're told no. That's a growth mindset. Now, what about famous people? Do they have a growth mindset? What if I told you that these books were never published? J.K. Rowling was rejected 12 times from big publishers. I would have cried by then. But you know what she did? She kept on going until her book got published. Now, we know what they set apart. We know what makes them different from others. They all have a growth mindset. Now, how can we change our mindset? First, put effort into everything you do. Because anything important is probably going to be hard. Second, listen to people's suggestions. Suggestions can help you set goals for yourself. Third, work hard. Work hard into everything you do because it's worth it at the end. Lastly, you will experience pushback. Don't give up. Success is on the other side of the wall. I want to be a doctor when I grow up. I know it's going to be a lot of hard work, a lot of homework, and a lot of school. But I'm going to keep my growth mindset, and I'll never quit. How are you going to be important here and now?
Jen, I was wondering, do they have slides that we're supposed to be watching along with, or?
Yes, but she came in a little late, so we just have to
Okay,
take care of
gotcha.
it. We got it, we'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ava. Being a student can be so hard sometimes, but remembering to have a growth mindset is so important. Our next speaker had an amazing opportunity to embrace his beliefs and learn about others. Please put your hands together for this sixth grader from Montgomery Middle School, Rasul Al-Nasrawi.
Hello, I hope everyone's doing well. My story begins last summer when I had the opportunity to go to Whispering Winds summer camp. Whispering Winds is a Catholic camp and I am Muslim. My mom was reluctant because I am Muslim. She was concerned that the fact that I practiced a different faith would cause her to feel isolated. She was reassured by the staff that camp would be a safe and welcoming environment. So she decided to let me go to camp. When I got to camp, I was pretty nervous. I didn't know how to ask for the time and space for me to pray. You see, as a Muslim, prayer is important to me. I pray 3 times a day. Once in the morning, twice in the afternoon, and twice in the evening too. I didn't know if they were going to be able to accommodate my religious needs. I wanted to continue going to camp, but I didn't want to sacrifice my prayer to stay. I eventually mustered up the courage to ask Michael, one of the counselors in training, for help. When I asked Michael, we were both I asked him because he was younger, and I thought he would understand me. He called the big tuna, that's the name of the camp director, to ask what to do to help me pray. We then found a way to help me pray by pulling me out of activities. Michael never left me alone. He kept my prayer book safe and folded. He set timers to remind me to pray and also helped by locating a place to pray. This way, I was able to honor my religion and continue going to camp. Michael and I look noticeably different on the outside, yet surprisingly similar on the inside. We both like a particular sport. Faith is important to both of us, and we both love animals. After camp finished, I decided to give Michael my prayer book. When he asked me why, I told him I never want you to forget me. Because of Michael's kindness, I learned everyone deserves a chance, even if they are different. I also learned how to shift my viewpoint, which has caused me to see my life and others from a different angle. This has brought me happiness, pride in myself, and a sense of self-assurance. Sadly, some communities continue to discriminate against others solely on the basis of their unique characteristics, denying them opportunities to participate in activities. This is why we are here today. We are here to share experiences that have changed our lives in the hopes of motivating others to perform to their greatest ability. One solution is just being friendly. Accepting people has the potential to change the world. Another solution is donating to help make places free, more affordable, or accessible for all. So please, let's help others experience joy in this world. By doing so, we can help each other realize our commonalities more than our differences. We can help each other realize that we really aren't that different after all, and it can be everywhere. At a church, school, restaurant, it doesn't just have to be at summer camp.
Thank you, Rasul. I really like how you talked about the love for your religion. Hopefully, we can all take his request and give everyone a chance. Next up, we have a 5th grader from the virtual learning program who will be speaking about bias in the news. Please welcome Aiden McKeeman to the stage.
Hello, my name is Aiden McKeeman, and my talk is about bias in the news and why we should stop it. I know you all are very busy, so I'd like to thank you for listening to our talks. When I was on a field trip to this town, I was on a Union Tribune newspaper. This town is a place where kids get to experience careers. At this town, the Union Tribune had an office building for me to work in. In the office was a poster on a wall that reminded workers not to use biased information in articles. Bias is when news outlets promote their own opinion, personal agenda, or skewed stories. Bias is a real problem, and it seems people agree. In a study conducted by Gallup, 61% of 19,000 people polled believe that news outlets promoting their own opinions while reporting is a major problem. That's a pretty big majority, and since people rely on news for safety, guidelines, and ultimately the truth, it seems like many people see it as a threat to how we see the truth. But what really is a biased story? What can happen if you believe that story is true? It seems like many news outlets put a biased spin on the news, and this version of a story can be accessed through many forms of media platforms, such as news sites, phone apps, social media, and television. Media coverage may be biased and only partially report on one side of the issue, often wasting energy and focus on making the other side seem less favorable. This is wrong, shady, and unethical. It's destructive of public trust. These reports can change your reader's thoughts and begin to have a major role in functions in society. But why exactly is this bad? then why should it stop? Well, how would you feel if your school newspaper is biased, for example? What would you feel if your school was affected by the news and picked subjects instead of teaching what we needed to know? Let's go back to the newspaper. It could spread It could ignore multiple details related to student presidents, for example. Yet leave out important details or not even mention the candidate at all, after all our hard work. What if these people are being ignored by your friends, your family, or even you? Bias can be misleading and may manipulate the actions of others. If biased news outlets want to aggravate and agitate the public, they are focused on a personal agenda and leave out important details. Sometimes the truth isn't entertaining enough, so news outlets may edit the details of the situation to make the story more controversial, or less chaotic than it really was. During the January 6th insurrection, some news outlets edited the details of the situation to seem calmer. But government property was destroyed, many people were injured, and 9 people didn't survive. This was wrong, and these news outlets denied the chaos, and made up their own peaceful story from their viewers. Was this in support of political figures? Was this about voting rights of states? Was it a race issue? If the news uses bias, the people's understanding of the truth will forever be warped. Some bias focuses on meaningless aspects of the story. Oftentimes we see this with political events. For example, sometimes news outlets will focus on politicians' attire and mannerisms, and not the goals and propositions that politicians set. It's quite easy to see which news outlet a politician It's quite easy to see which politician and news outlet favors over another, and how they try to sway viewers' opinions about them. Due to this misinformation, society may lose a valuable public official due to news outlets spinning the truth about them. Bias can mislead viewers according to the news outlets, and it can also cause serious problems. So, how do we stop it? We can investigate multiple news stories from different sources, like websites or channels, and compare them with others. Then we'll be able to know which is the most biased, and then we'll be able to hold accountable for it. All bias is stop at news stories. Bias can distort and drive our opinions for us. Bias can have serious effects on the community. Bias can take a toll on trustworthiness of the media. Even the media is alerting of real disasters coming. People might ignore evacuation notices due to mistrust, and notice it was real and it was too late. Bias can also cause prosecutions of innocent people, just in publicity. We need to hold these people accountable so that truth and trust are restored. Reporting must be done objectively and fairly. If we notice these instances, then we can speak out and ensure that these news outlets can represent our community and not themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Aiden, for opening our eyes to bias and news. Now I will remember to check my sources before I make an informed decision. Moving on to our next speaker, do we have any wrestling fans in the audience today? Well, Manan is here to explain his journey and the impact pro wrestling has made on his life. Please welcome this sixth grader from Chase Elementary, Manan Al-Lalu, to the stage.
Wrestling is one of the many dangerous sports. I first looked at wrestling when my sister introduced me to WWE when I was only 6 years old. She showed me wrestling videos of John Cena and Ronda Rousey. Many people wonder if wrestling is real or fake. The truth is, it's both. The storylines leading up to the fight are staged and fixed, but the actual fighting is real. Wrestlers can and do get hurt. Some in the hospital or even worse, and that can be scary. I've used a lot of their training in my personal life. Like my favorite wrestler, Braun Strowman, he sets goals and breaks them down into smaller parts. If Braun Strowman wants to lift a person and throw them from over his head, he has to use special exercises like bench press and leg press. For me, my goal is to graduate
before the 7th grade. ELD is the English Language Development class. In order to graduate, I have to strengthen my reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. For my reading, I practice reading books that are at my level independently. For my listening, I practice listening to stories that my friends and family tell me, then retelling them in my head. And for my writing, I practice writing future wrestling scripts. And for my speaking, I joined a TED about my school to present my TED Talk, and here I am. My future goal is to become a pro wrestler. And here are some steps I need to take before I reach my goal. Step 1 is to start getting famous on some social media platforms. Step 2 is to start working out. Step 3 is to start with smaller companies like Pro Japan Wrestling and Independence. Step 4 is to join WWE NXT. And step 5 is to impress the head of the table so I can go into the main roster. Here are some positive benefits about wrestling. Wrestlers spend about 20 to 30 minutes in a match, but they spend months or even years leading up to that match. But, for me, I notice sometimes the most important things in life are sometimes the smallest, like cleaning my room. I also bet that down. I start with cleaning under my bed, this is the hardest, and I end off with organizing my closet, this is the easiest. Here's how pro wrestling
This is what clean your room is just so
First of all, you can find it for free on YouTube. Here are some other platforms you can find it on. You can find it on WWE Network and Peacock. Pro wrestling can help wrestlers by giving them a living out of something they love. Pro wrestling can help the fans by giving them something entertaining to watch. Pro wrestling can help the haters by giving them something entertaining to watch and something to write about. They can write about the wrestlers, and they can also write about the match. Wrestling isn't only work though, it's also great entertainment. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays are my favorite because I get to watch Monday Night Raw, Tuesday Night NXT, and Friday Night SmackDown. Wrestling can help you become a better person no matter what situation you're in. Anyone can use pro wrestling to become a better person. Yes, it can be dangerous sometimes, but don't let fear stop you from taking chances in life. Also, if you don't meet your goals, you can always make new ones. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk about pro wrestling.
Thank you, Bonam. I love pro wrestling too, and now I'm glad to know the benefits it could have for me. Did you guys know that Braun Strowman puts people over his head? Next up, we have a third grader from Rancho San Diego who will be talking to us about one of my favorite things, slime. Please welcome Kennedy Carpenter to the stage.
Have you ever just felt so overwhelmed and stressed when you're working on your homework? What about chores and disappointing your parents and fights with sisters and standing in front of a bunch of strangers giving your TED Talk? But then, with your heart beating, thump, 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 just sitting in your bed, in your room, trying to focus, but no matter how hard you try, you can't problem solve, can't focus, can't even think. So you try to play music, to lower the volume of your heartbeat. It doesn't always work, does it? This is something I've struggled with for a while, and it took me some time to come to some realization that there might be a few other things than loud music and alone time that can help you with anxiety. For me, something as little as slime is the answer. I As weird as this may sound, slime can actually have you feeling lost, overwhelmed, and even anxiety. Fidgets that you can use when having anxiety is putty, stress balls, fidget cubes, and fidget spinners. Now, let's look back into a personal experience. I found myself frustrated over workload of homework. I genuinely didn't know what to do. So my first thought was talk to my mom about it. When I explained how I felt to my mom, she told me I needed to de-stress myself and focus on calming my mind before trying to learn something new. I decided to take her advice. As I sat in my bed, debating, I looked on my desk and saw my collection of mini slimes. That reminded me playing with them helped me calm down and distract me from my worries. And so now when I start feeling lost or overwhelmed, I take out all of my 175 slimes. I know Mom only got me 175 slimes. Who will give me more? I think my dad will. That kind of thing. So then I can get back to what I was trying to learn and be more successful. Now, I know I'm not the only kid in my school that gets frustrated over the amount of homework, friendships, grades, and after-school commitments. Am I right? I know I'm not. So I did some, they could probably use some slime to help themselves feel better too. So I did some research and it actually said, in fact, slime can actually help with feeling lost, overwhelmed, and even anxiety and depression. So if you start feeling lost, overwhelmed, and mad, sad, or worried, and getting messy isn't your thing, there's a whole other world of fidgets you can try. My suggestion is to try to make your own slime, or go to the store and buy some, because it doesn't only help you, it's so much fun too. Thank you.
Thank you, Kennedy. I wish my teacher would let me play with slime at school, but maybe one day they might. Our last speaker of the night is third grader from Lexington Elementary School who will be bringing awareness to racism. Please welcome Skylar Grande to the stage. Did you know children aren't born racist? This is something they learn. They learn it from the surroundings. Before I was enrolled in school, I really never saw skin color. I just saw who a person is. On my second day at my new school, somebody asked me, "Hey, what's your race?" I was nervous, but also happy, because they wanted to know more about my family background. So I said, "Black and Filipino." They said, "You don't look black." I was confused. I was thinking to myself, what does looking black mean? As I got older, I realized racism is learned. According to the American Psychological Association, kids pick up on what their parents and teachers say and don't say, who and what they see on TV, what their dogs look like, and how other people are treated in the schools and neighborhoods. By the age of 1, babies should see people with all different types of skin colors. If adults knew that babies aren't born hateful but learn this behavior, they can prevent kids from growing up and being racist. As adults, you should watch what you say around your child and make sure you're great influence to your kids so they do not become racist. Since it is so important for babies to see people with all different types of skin colors, let me tell you some ways you can make this happen. You can buy different colored dolls and action figures from Walmart, Target, the 99-cent store, the mall, and Costco. That way your kids will know that people come in all different types of skin colors. Make sure other skin colors are represented in the toys as well as their own skin color. So when your kids get older, they feel comfortable playing with everyone. Remember, education is the first step. When you know better, you do better. Now you know how valuable it is for babies to see people with all different types of skin colors. So go out today and buy a new doll or action figure for someone you know. Thank you.
That was a little snippet of our events. Thank you guys. Give me a round of applause. at the Magnolia Theater all day. The event is free. I'm going to leave some flyers on the back table for you guys on the way out. Please come. We would love you to come and watch all of our students. There's not just TED Talks. There's going to be an outdoor experience with booths and fun activities and lots of fun for the day. So we hope you guys can come and join us. But I want to leave us with a promo video that some of our students had just recently made for this year. Thank you guys.
Hi, join us at the Magnolia Theater for TEDx Kids at El Cajon on Hi, join us at the Magnolia Theater for TEDx. Hi, join us at the Magnolia Theater for TEDx Kids at El Cajon on May 6th. Our theme this year is Me, Here, Now.
We can make a difference here by experiencing the benefits of nature.
By the life-changing effect of their jobs. By making our actions louder than our words. Make a difference now by eliminating bias and use.
By treating everyone as equal.
Making a difference with me by using autism as my superpower. By understanding slant up anxiety and depression.
By understanding language means affection and heart.
We'll have TED Talks, food trucks, performances, and fun activities. Please register on our website for a free ticket. Come join us. Make a difference here and now, starting with me.
Thank you so much, Jen, and our TEDx speakers. It takes a lot of courage to get up here and to share their ideas worth sharing. So we appreciate our coaches and our community mentors being here as well. So thank you. All right. We'll let them kind of get out, and then we'll move on.
Wait, Mom, when does it say? 7. Isn't there like an estimate?
It's going to be at least another 30 minutes, 30 to 45.
All right, so we are going to move on to our public hearing from Canoe and Academy material revision request. And so I'm going to have you speak, and then we'll go into. Let me open this. I think I opened it.
Yeah, you were hammering.
I opened the hearing, so we'll hear from. I have some cards, and I believe you're going to speak first, and then we'll bring out some individuals.
Good evening.
I'm not sure if it's on, so.
Good evening.
There you go, thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Kristen Barkas. I'm the principal and executive director at Cajon Academy. I have with me tonight my business manager, Delana Jones, and one of my board members, Mike Runlet. Thank you guys for coming. First, I just want to speak to the success of Cajon Academy. Since our 2019 opening, our student population has increased by over 100%. Currently, we have 236 students. 95% of our students qualify for free or reduced lunch. 72% are English language learners, and 13% are students with disabilities. Our academic program has enabled our students to flourish academically. Our 2022 CAPS test scores exceeded the state overall in ELA and in Cadino's student subgroups. The test scores overall in math between the state and Cajon Academy are comparable. Most significantly, our ELA test scores for socioeconomically disadvantaged students was 46%, met or exceeded as compared to the state's 35.24%. Furthermore, 30.77% of Cadino Academy's English language learners met or exceeded standards compared to only 12.65% of the state's English language learners. On the California dashboard, you will see that our success educating English language learners is high, with 57% of our English language learners gaining 1 or more proficiency levels. Additionally, we have very low rates of chronic absenteeism and suspension rates. In our annual parent survey, respondents have consistently reported that students feel safe and known on campus, and that parents feel valued. Another strong indication of the school climate we have created is that over 98% of our parents felt like they too had learned new skills or strategies to support their children at home. Not only does our school offer strong academics, we also foster a love of learning by offering our students other engaging opportunities. This year we began a PE program taught by a qualified PE coach, and also started a robotics program for all of our TK through 5th grade students. Our after-school classes include intervention as well as a diverse array of clubs, including language classes, cooking, soccer, origami, art, music, violin, STEAM, dance, art, science, and others. Our annual fiscal audit performed by Christy White has always resulted in the most favorable outcome of an unmodified outcome with 0 findings. Over the last 4 years, we have demonstrated our ability to successfully manage our budget while also maintaining our minimum 5% reserve. Parent feedback and input is the main reason that we are here today. As you can see, our parents are fully in support of us opening a middle school. 100% of our parents have expressed a desire for a Cadino Academy Middle School and have signed a document requesting that you approve our material revision. As you know, there are other competing charter schools who offer middle school alternatives. This year alone, we lost 69% of our 5th grade students to charter schools that are authorized by other school districts. Parents who opted, not as good as those 10X others, parents who opted to transfer their students repeatedly indicated that the only reason they did so was because Cadino didn't offer a middle school option. Our objectives are not only to retain our current students, but also to bring these transferred students back to Cadino Academy and the Cajon Valley District. The middle school model we have designed will continue Cadino Academy's mission and vision, providing a rigorous, exemplary education while developing lifelong learners who are inspired and capable of contributing to the global world. Our model will include core classes with an enrichment wheel and PE courses. In 2023-2024, we hope to offer a 6th grade class and add 1 grade level each subsequent year until we have a TK through 8th grade. Cadino Academy North, located on 2nd Street, would become a TK3 campus, and Cadino Academy South on Granite Hills would be a 4A campus. Thank you so much for your consideration of our material revision. Your support is invaluable. We are very grateful for our partnership. Now I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Runlet, who's going to say a few words on behalf of our school board.
Good evening. My name is Mike Runlet. I'm on the board. I'm also born here in El Cajon. I live and work here in El Cajon. And I'm really impressed with the turnout here and the kids and how well they behaved. I think my kids would have behaved this way, but I don't think my grandkids would. So I'm impressed with your parents. Doing a good job. But I'm also impressed with you guys, the school board, and the support you've given us so far. Between Cheryl, I appreciate it. And you can tell we're doing some good things. Thank you.
Now, or if you want to open it.
Did you have something?
No, he was just here to field any fiscal questions if you have any.
Okay. Do we want to hear from the public and then questions from the board? So I'm going to have our public line up. I'm going to.
Oh, it's just a public hearing? There'll be a board item next meeting to answer questions. This is just a public hearing.
Okay, this is just the public hearing, so, so then I will have our speaker cards, line up. I have 5 of them. And so, have you speak into the mic, and, I have Wasan, Abotoli, sorry if I'm messing these up. Doa Ibram, Afra Jabril, Bahara Hildu, and Abir Masur. So Wasan, is Wasan here? We'll have you start. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Wasan Albertoli. I'm the office secretary at Cadino Academy. I love working at Cadino, and I have found it to be a very, very positive working environment where every employee is held accountable and supported to grow professionally. We truly are a team, and we support one another in our goal every single day. We are aligned in our vision for the school and put students and parents first in every situation. One of the principles that is emphasized at our school is having a growth mindset. Each of us are constantly learning and trying to grow as professionals. I have been here since we opened the schools back in 2019, and it has been phenomenal to see the teachers learning and growing through their bi-monthly coaching sessions and collaborating with one another. Every day, I'm able to interact with parents. There are several things that they constantly appreciate and recognize about our school community. First is the awe of witnessing how much their children are learning and growing every single day. Second, our parents constantly share how grateful they are for our school and for the school staff. They themselves feel like they are part of Cadino family and feel comfortable and supported by our school community. Myself and many of our parents are Chaldean refugees. In our home country, we were persecuted for our beliefs. We came to the United States for opportunities, and Cadino Academy has allowed me in person to earn and have this opportunity. As a former preschool teacher, I started here with Cadino with no office experience. During my employment, I have been encouraged to learn and grow in a supportive environment. I have learned many new professional skills, and I'm glad that I got this opportunity at Cadino. I am not alone in this experience. Nearly half of our comprised of Chaldean individuals. Our school is representative of the students' community that we serve. For many families, education is the opportunity that they came to the United States for. We wanted our children to live in a place where they felt valued, safe, known, and were given an opportunity to thrive academically and socially. Cadino Academy represents opportunities for kids, for staff, and for our Cajon community.
We're at time. I'm sorry. We only have 3 minutes per person, so thank you so much, Wasan.
Thank you so much for your consideration and time.
Hi, my name is Afra Jabril. I'm a mother of Annabella Cajon. She's in first grade, started from kindergarten.
I'm not sure if the mic is on. Did it get accidentally turned off?
Let's stop the clock for just a moment.
About now. There you go.
My name is Afra Jabril. I'm a mother of Annabella Cajon. In first grade, she started in kindergarten and now enrolled my son upcoming fall for TK. I want to thank Cadino for giving me an opportunity to speak on behalf of myself and the community. First of all, I want to value Cadino for all of their provided services and the relationship and communication between principal, staff, and teacher with parents to deliver the best of solutions, always keeping us informed with upcoming things, meetings, adding programs, etc. for the best of our children. And the relationship with the students as well, the relationship that delivers all kind of understanding to our children from teaching them with the new skills and programs that I never had in my time, like robotics, a tool that engineers uses, and using the program at an early age. Also, love how our children love their teachers, staff, no complaints. Now we are all here looking forward for your acceptance and approval to extend into middle school for us to keep our children continuing their education with such an amazing school and staff. And thank you.
Thank you. Uh-huh. Oh, okay. You went ahead.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we have, what is your name? Abir? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Abir Mansour. So today we are here for one important reason, which is the future of our children. Getting a good school for a child is every parent's priority, and it's important to know that child joins schools when they are very young, and much of their socialization and cultural modification processes take place at school. Therefore, a good school should be based on good education, good moral values, should have the required facilities and materials to make learning possible, and the most important, has academically qualified teachers to ensure academic excellence. Since teachers are guides of learners, and they are highly influenced what students learn at school, in this regard, teachers should be well-mannered so that they can help in positively molding the learners. As a parent, I found all these characters in Cadino Academy administrators and teachers. They are hardworking staff, and they do everything to enhance student skills in many aspects. So they deserve a chance to upgrade their educational level to open a middle school, since the quality of education is all the matter in the end. Thank you.
Share your name.
Good evening. My name is Vera Haido. I enrolled my daughters at Cadino Academy School for the school year 2021-2022. And what I liked about Cadino is that their classes are very small in size. The teachers can focus on the students more. Also, what I love about Cadino, they always keep me in the picture. When there is something that happened between the students, they contact me right away, privately. The teachers with their aides work as a team to provide a good environment for their students. In each class at Cadino, there is a teacher aide. Honestly, I haven't heard of any school that has an aide in each class. Cadino Academy tries to make sure that the teachers and their aides are capable to provide best education to their students and help them when they need it. At Cadino, they provide intervention classes for those who need motivation and strengthening in English and math. During class time, they make small groups to work with them closely. At Cadino, all of the aides are bilingual and some of them are multilingual. That is a big benefit for the parents who speaks only their mother language. Parents can send messages to the aides through Class Dojo, and the aide can communicate with the teacher. Even during teacher-parents conferences, the parents are not afraid of how to communicate with the teachers because the aides interpret everything for both parties. In addition, Cadino Academy is improving itself more and more each year by adding new topics to its curriculum that make the students think and learn new skills. For instance, this year they started teaching robotics, and the students learn how to do coding and connect their figure that they make enjoy so much, such as science club, music, sports, art, different language clubs, dance club, and origami club. At the end, I would love to thank Mrs. Vargas for all her hard work, along with all the school staff. Cadino Academy is a great school, and I love my girls to continue their education at it in elementary and middle school. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a mother for my daughter. She's in kindergarten. Cadino Academy is more just school. It's family and community. The teachers and the staff is amazing. Everything is wonderful. So we are so lucky because our child in this school. So they have limited kids and students in the classes, so they can focus on each child and update all the family if they need anything, or if anything happened, they touch with us and follow up with us. Cadino is an amazing school. I appreciate it for all what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Scott, is there anything more? Should we have discussion?
No, it's just public hearing.
Public hearing, okay. Any other comments from the board? No, I will close the hearing. And now we will move on to communications. I'm not sure if we want to let Kanidu, thank you all for coming. We'll let you leave because I know it gets a little disruptive as we're moving on to
Do you want to move closer when everybody files out? They're leaving because their public hearing is over. The meeting's almost over.
Why are we here?
Because we're going to be here for the rest of the meeting. It's almost done there.
All right, we will be continuing with our business at hand. So as they're filtering out, we will start with communications. And I'm going to turn that over to Michelle because I believe we will be having a moment of silence after. We do have just another 30 seconds.
Where the cookies go. No.
$36.
I know, now you know how much work Dad's been
The
more exciting ones were for me. Think about how much time Dad's been.
This evening, it is with great sadness that we announce the passing of Danny Mejia, who has served as a Cajon Valley school bus driver for over 12 years. In addition to safely transporting our students, Danny was a cherished member of our community. His kind heart and positive attitude made him a beloved figure among the colleagues, students, and parents alike. He will be greatly missed by all. Services are unknown at this time and will be shared upon finalization, and if everybody could please join us for a moment of silence in honor of Danny, it would be greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Michelle. Please extend our condolences. And I'm going to turn it back over to you because I believe we do have some retirements.
We do. We have Cindy Campbell, one of our special education and pupil services teachers for the orthopedically impaired, super specialized position, is retiring in June, and Cindy will have served the district for 37 and a half years upon her retirement. Patrick Gunnarsson, one of our PE teachers at Greenfield, is retiring also in June, and Patrick will have worked with the district for 22 years. Catherine Joy is a teacher at Avocado, again, retiring in June, and she will have been with the district for 31 years. And Robin Martelli, a Blossom teacher, woo, I give her a shout out, In June, and Robin will have been with the district for 34 years. We also have another one of our fabulous bus drivers who unfortunately is retiring. And it's Yana Beyer is retiring after 18 and a half years of service with us. And was fortunate enough to have a conversation with her during the Transportation Appreciation Day today. And she's sad and also super excited for her future. So we're excited for everybody to go on to that next chapter, and certainly with huge hopes that they come back and substitute for us as always.
And so please extend our congratulations and
We
our,
love you, Miss Martelli.
appreciation to all of them. So thank you. All right, next we have public participation. I do not have any cards, so we will be moving on to the CVEA. And
What are you doing?
Oh my goodness.
Make it good, make it count.
Can I speak for a second? So give me a second. Okay, go ahead. The timer.
No, you don't have a timer.
That makes it even better.
Relax, take a deep breath.
So I'm going to say the first 3 months of me doing this new position, I want to thank your cabinet. Incredible. They've guided me. They've helped me. They've listened to all my concerns. They've really been supportive in this transition. It's been a hard transition because I've been teaching. I've been at Cajon Valley since I was 18 years old. So it was a hard transition, and I want to thank your cabinet for all their help. And things are looking good. It's getting better. My biggest concern right now is the slideshows I consistently get for safety. It tears me apart when I'm getting the ed specialist sending me pictures of black eyes, busted noses, scratches across the face, choke marks from their lanyard. And a lot of the comments that come back is, this is expected in this position. Well, yes, it is, but we need to do something with the safety. That is going to be a big focus of mine right now, because I would be glad, I'm putting it together so I can share with you guys how serious it is, because you don't get it until you see the pictures and you go, wow, that was by a 3rd grader did that, you know? So we need to figure out something, and it's a bigger picture that we all have to be part of and figure it out, because it's not fair to the students that are in the classroom that are getting hurt because another student acts off, or if a teacher gets hurt, or a parent gets hurt. It's just, we need to help and figure out what the problem is and come up with some good solutions. So I hope you guys are on board with that. And I know I've heard you in the past, when you started a committee, we just need to move forward and get it going as quick as we can, because safety is first in mind.
Thank you. I talked with Jeremy today about the work that he's been working with you on getting input and with planning a plan. A couple board meetings ago, we discussed having a district-wide committee that would involve parents and students as well, but also the law enforcement and the district attorney's office to help us with a comprehensive strategy to make our schools more safe. So if it's okay with you, we'd like to have your group join our larger group.
Oh, they would love that, actually, because the people I picked for this committee are really dedicated, and I was really impressed because they're thinking outside the box and they're coming in with ideas instead of just, hey, we need help, and they're coming with a vision.
Yeah, it's not more, it's different. We need something different.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
I appreciate that. I think working together collaboratively is always better together.
Yeah. But thank you guys.
Thank you.
There's only 2 of us.
CFCA, I know that Mark is on vacation. Anybody here to speak for him?
Happy birthday to Kim, his wife. He said, I can come tonight, but Kim will be, no, it's her birthday tonight. Go.
I do have to add, he is watching on Zoom.
Happy birthday.
He is watching on Zoom.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
Thank you.
well, happy birthday,
Happy
Kim.
birthday, Kim.
CVAA, not here. I do have a PTA in your binders. There
report?
It's just yours, we just put it in yours.
Oh, just in mine, okay. I thought everybody would get it, but okay, I will go ahead and read the report. And, you know, this is for all schools to report to the PTA, or the PTOs as well, to share with Jemima what is going on, as the board president, or the president of the PTA. So there's a lot of positive things going on. Avocado held a successful bowling night for all families and had a great turnout. We currently are working on an upcoming STEAM event, which will be on Saturday, May 20th at Avocado, and look forward to lots of fun art and STEM activities. They'll be free for all families to attend. Shout outs to the print shop for getting our banners ready for this event so quickly. I'm sure in line with TEDx, it's probably a challenge. Bostonia just had a spring event with raffle items. They also received a grant from Cajon Valley PTA to support their Reading Under the Stars event for books. Huerte is working on their upcoming spring gala fundraiser in May. And Hillsdale, we are coordinating with our principal and working on a community cleanup event on Saturday, May 13th, 9 to 12. And they'll be cleaning up Hillsdale and the surrounding areas to maintain a positive relationship with our local businesses and community. So we'll be offering free snacks and drinks to those who come and help clean up, as well as an opportunity to win Husky gear or a certificate from a local business. Also received a grant from Cajon Valley PTA to help support their field trip for 6th grade students to see the King Tut exhibit. That sounds pretty exciting. Rancho San Diego held a successful fun run at their site. Rios held our second showcase and lunch on the lawn right before spring break. All the students were excited to share their projects with families that attended, and we had a huge turnout of families that attended. Received a grant from Cajon Valley Council PTA to support purchasing some playground equipment for their TK kinders. Support that would be appreciated from the district units. Let's see, Hillsdale said, thank you for improvements in our bathrooms and listening to our concerns regarding the bathrooms. And that's it. Thank you. Any discussion for future agenda items?
Yes.
Okay. Anthony?
Okay, so first, two past future agenda items. One, Trustee Alegria brought up last time, if our agenda is light, to maybe reduce the amount of board meetings we have through the year. Am I saying that correctly, Joe? The second was a sexual health advisory committee, to form that so we can work on our California Healthy Youth Act comprehensive sexual education curriculum. Third agenda item, and this was actually just brought to my attention, I brought it to David's attention earlier today. This was sent to me, and Karen, do the take one, pass it down thing again. This was sent to me by a parent at Madison who says this is a picture of a book on display in the counselor's office. The book is It Feels Good to Be Yourself, a book about gender identity. I was able to read a little bit of it on the internet, and kind of presents, you know, being what they call cisgender, which just means boy or girl. So cisgender is kind of boring and uninteresting, and then these other gender expansive things are very interesting and garner a lot of attention from the characters in the book. So the future agenda item I would like to discuss is, you know, this isn't just a book on a shelf apparently, it's, you know, on display when an elementary schooler goes to the counselor's office, which I use the old Alan Dershowitz, he's a very brilliant attorney, shoe on the other foot argument here. If there was a book on display in the counselor's office about conversion therapy and it had a character who had successfully gone through conversion therapy, I imagine people would be equally appalled, you know.
Okay,
so if this is curriculum, I'd like it brought forth as an agenda item like that, or if the counselor's office falls outside of curriculum, what sort of books do our counselors hand to kids? What sort of information, you know, what's the protocol there? And if the board has purview over that, can we discuss that and you know, in my view, I think we should avoid a visit to the counselor's office by an elementary schooler being an occasion for, you know, promoting this sort of ideology. Unless, and you guys can check my work on this because I've done a lot of research, the law guides staff to accommodate kids who come to them and initiate this conversation. And if they have a specific request to use a certain facility of the gender they identify with, to accommodate that. And also, at the earliest opportunity, to involve the parents to the greatest extent possible in those discussions, unless a student specifically says, I don't want you to tell my parents. So, you know, who initiates the conversation is important, and I think it needs to be student initiated. It needs to be parents involved at the earliest possible opportunity, unless or until a kid says no. And the parent who sent this to me also said they attended the suicide prevention training, and that's where this concept was kind of put forth as, you know, talking about gender identity as part of a suicide prevention program, which I don't find to be correct either. Again, it kind of goes back to, if a student comes to you and they initiate this conversation, you accommodate them. You don't create an environment where they're, you know, bullied or put in a situation where they would feel like it's not worth living anymore. That's the direction I think we ought to be going here, not having our counselors initiating these sorts of conversations or putting these sorts of ideologies on display in the counselor's office.
So you need some clarity on what is the curriculum and what we need to be, who needs to see that. So.
Yeah, from the counselor's perspective.
And so I don't know if maybe Karen, have you look at it, or even if you want to comment on how this would be a future agenda item.
I'm always cautious when it's a specific incident and to know more about the actual what's happening, what was reported, who reported it, what was happening. Knowing all the details, this seems very specific, which is leading to a broader discussion. But I would want to know all the specifics around this. What was witnessed, where, how, why. In terms of curriculum, we do not provide a specific curriculum or specific books to counseling offices. We don't provide that. The one book we did provide to all counselors was around data and a comprehensive counseling program. So that was really about teacher professional learning. In terms of this, I think our best first step is to look at current policies related to the questions you have, to look at that. A legal review is best. So two things, let's go very high and broad and look at our current policies and processes. Two, let's look at this specific question about the book, where it's displayed, why it was chosen, how it's used. I think that might be an informative first step.
Thank you, Karen.
I just copy and paste what she said with my.
I think it's kind of relative maybe in regards to the hiring of the county librarian coming to some of our books and our virtual publications. So I think that when you're able to forward that information of how the books are vetted, to just send it to all of us, and that way at least we know that much of it.
He already responded, so you'll get that in your Friday update.
Okay,
Thank you for being so quick. Any other future agenda items?
Well, Anthony, on that request, thank you for sending this early, and you said you would redirect the parent to me and Stephanie Dodd so that we can investigate the concern?
Yes, and I've asked the parent, I don't know if they're wanting to or not. I basically said, hey, can you go to the principal? And they expressed some like reservation about that, so.
We can't do anything unless we're involved.
Well, I mean, this is a book on display in the counselor's office, so I don't think it's specific to any one parent or student. If this is a picture of a book on display at Madison in the counselor's office, right? That would be procedural.
So David, you'll follow up with.
To hear what the concern is from the parent would be what I'd be interested in.
I think the concern speaks for itself here, and if you want to, dig into the book, that's again, it's not like there's a bookshelf. This is on display.
at the elementary school, you know?
It's
So-
really challenging, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but it's really challenging when many situations come up. You can, it could be any topic. When we hear things verbally and someone said, this is what happened, that's a great start. But if you just give us the opportunity to work and go to the site and if this person, and we have lots of people that say, I wanna tell this person, but I'm not comfortable sharing with this person. Understood? It is, as David said, very hard to follow through and not to imply what I think the person is wanting or looking for. I get it, but at minimum, if they don't want to come forward, you can find that out. We can go and find out like, what is the book and all that background that we just talked about. But when they don't, to David's point, and we talk with the associations about this all the time, people are comfortable talking to some people and not to others, and that's just the way it is. And I just can't, I can't imply what someone else is thinking when they report something to me and imply this is what they mean. I don't get to do that. So anyways, my point is, tough situation. If they're comfortable, come forward, or with someone else. Sometimes people like to come forward with someone else and feel more comfortable sharing their opinion. Great. If not, at minimum, we can still go to this. Okay, thank you.
And Scott, you mentioned that for the agenda item to reduce our board meetings, we need to change our board policy.
Yeah, we have to change the board policy. It says it the second, fourth Tuesday of the month, so I think Kevin's objective is to look at the current board meetings for the rest of the calendar year, and then come back with some recommendations for the board on which one they can eliminate. There are some months like June, we have to have two because of our LCAP adoption and the budget adoption, but definitely there's months we can eliminate, a board meeting. That's our next steps. I think getting us through June at this point is one of the two or whatever's scheduled. But then looking maybe starting in July and through December, the recommendation of the board, and then we change the board policy to be what makes sense for everybody.
So at the July board meeting, Scott,
Yeah.
we'll bring a policy recommendation and suggest a board calendar that we can look at your calendars and see if it works out.
Sounds great, thank you,
And
David.
then, didn't you mention something about special board meetings when they arise?
If for some reason something comes up and we need to, then we always have that option.
Moving on to board reports. Juliana.
No, we will.
Jim?
Joe? Just working and staying engaged with the district community, families, teachers, visits, so generally, that's basically what's happening around here.
All right, I'm gonna bring it back to asphalt, first off.
So exciting.
Yes, the county Department of Public Works went out to Crest and repaired the curb that was busted and allowing water to basically flow off of their road and around our big green electrical box at the front of the school. It was eroding around that. So they repaired that, so now the water, now that the rain's over, but the water should now flow down to, I think it's Forester Creek and not down onto our parking lot where principal at one point joked that teachers, because that drain, there's a drain in the parking lot there, and then when the creek is high, or the kids build dams in the creek, it blocks this drain from draining, and then the teachers are like, fording the flood to get from their cars to the school. So hopefully most of the water that was causing that issue will be flowing directly to the creek now. That's separate from the other issue where on the more western parking lot where the large swale sort of was redirecting water to the county park. As I said at our last board meeting, the Crest-Isa Community Planning Group did send, or they were going to at that point, they have now sent a letter to Department of Public Works that the Crest drainage project is a priority, which is what DPW said they needed from the Crest-Isa Planning Group to sort of get that on their radar, and then maybe it still takes a year or three, we'll see. On Sunday, Superintendent Miyashiro invited me to the, I wrote auto show, but I know it had a better name than that, in La Jolla at the La Valencia Hotel, and the auto shows there on the grass in front, so right there on the coast. It was very, very neat. We met with some guys from West Coast Customs, which if you were around in the watching MTV in the early 2000s, you might know who those guys are. And they have, I mean, they're artists, is the best way I can describe it, and they have a program north of here in Glendale, is it? Burbank. Where they're teaching kids how to make custom fitted consoles using CAD on vintage vehicles and like high skill level stuff. So conversations ongoing on how to do that. Daryl Priest was also at that table. He's had an idea, he says, for a long while of basically building a stick-built house, a full stick-built house on a stem wall, and then having like a house moving company come and pick it up and move it, but having, you know, a crew of 30 or 40 students, Bostonia Global perhaps, do this where they're building two houses, and then he says that he'll basically, you know, fund the cost of it and be the minimum bidder at about $400,000 per house once it's built. He called me the next morning, Monday morning, after we were at the auto show, and showed me the two he calls them classrooms, but they're meat processing facilities at El Capitan's Ag Department and one over at the rodeo. He says about $2 million worth of classrooms that they donated there. So he's really excited about getting this program going. He says we could get started by the fall. He called the Conrad Previs Foundation folks and said they're 100% behind it. He called Greg Brown. I talked to Greg Brown. I said we ought to involve Ron Signey, who's actually been a benefactor of our district for a long while, but he's really the mastermind of you know, how you would actually build that thing, because although Daryl and Greg have built thousands of homes between the two of them, I think they both would agree that when it comes down to actually planning and getting the structures built, that Ron Signey leaves them in the dust. So we'll, you know, I'll keep talking with those guys. I'm going to keep you in the loop on it, Superintendent. And let's see, what else? That's the auto show. I think that's it for my board report. So
thank you. Yes. Very exciting. I also have been out and about working with the TED community mentors, helping our students to be partnered with somebody they can see as their potential future self. And so that's been very exciting. I've been able to be out and about from LCC to the Honor Roll Assembly, to the WOW collaboration at JA BizTown. Sid Vivek hosted us out there, which is always fun. And I got to see Financial Park for the first time, which was very, very exciting. I think I would love for us to do a fun little virtual, maybe for the board, maybe a team building out there. I think it would be really fun, and the cabinet. Let's see what else. We had a PTA council meeting, and you got to hear their report. And let's see. I was also out at LCC for the Elevate with Jason Queen, and had some amazing feedback and just really some exciting things at Montgomery and at LCC. The feedback was incredible. And to see, I saw one of the students in the back, which was pointed out to me, that was a student that's really, really struggling. And as soon as Jason was sharing, the student took out his earbud and just leaned in a little bit and turned down the volume of his phone. And so he was really impacted by the story and elevating his life. So it was really encouraging. And we had a brunch this last Saturday hosted at Foothills, and so grateful for the Public Employee Christian brunch, and it was an amazing turnout, about 80 people. So thank you. And so David, your report.
Since we have closed sessions, I'll be brief, but I do want to say we appreciate the Transportation Department. Today is Transportation Appreciation Day, and one of the things we've been doing is having stakeholder groups and input, and this last round of teacher input one of the things they asked for were snacks for their kids during testing. Which seemed like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I had no idea what an enormous task that was going to be to ask. So thank you, Sharon, purchasing and child nutrition and logistics, but mostly ed services and John Leonard probably coordinating with all the schools that will receive fun, healthy snacks for each day of testing. But it took so many people to make that. Go ahead, Karen.
I'm just gonna pipe in as a parent. I received an email right as we're going through this long, laborious process, which is needed and really appreciated by staff. From my high school, I'm being asked for water and snacks to provide for any kid, my child and all children at my high school. So it just hit me as a parent that we're providing this, coordinating this, so staff doesn't have to do those communications, that PTA is trying to pull these things together, taking the lift off some people that don't need it at this time. Thank you.
So thank you, CVDA, for your input, and staff is responding. It's a lot. And I will share, yeah, the West Coast Customs conversation is exciting. So a weekend ago, I was with Karen Mejia at the Megatory. The Megatory is a community shared space where this company has bought the most expensive equipment for development, for building homes, for fabrication, for anything that you could do in masonry, glass, paint,
Blacksmith.
yeah. And it was very similar to what we saw on the Edutaur 5 years ago when we were exploring building something like that for our kids at the Bostonia site. And then the next day, took a 7-hour bus ride to Burbank to see West Coast Customs. I'd never heard of it. People were like, you know who this is? I said, no, I've never heard of it. But then when we got to see Usher's car and Justin Bieber's car that they're working on, and like, this is crazy. And the facility was the most impressive facility I've seen in terms of making stuff. So they invited all of us back with our cabinet. They're very interested in bringing their programs to San Diego. And the San Diego Auto Museum has been in partnership with them to create a vocational ed type experience. What I shared was, if we run a business like that here at Bostonia, we want to build a finance department, a marketing and advertising department, a law department for contracts, so that kids can experience the whole spectrum of work around building homes and building cars. And then rather than ask what class do you want to take, it's where do you want to work? Because the business will be right there on our campus. And so 5 years later, we have continued conversation. It's great to have Daryl back in the conversations. I think that he adds new energy to just the development side of, and the things you guys were building over spring break. This is in line with that too, all the skills. So I'm excited and would love to see if you're interested in coming up to West Coast Customs. Field trip?
Let's do it.
Yeah? No?
I'm coming.
It's okay. Maybe after you graduate.
Yes,
Okay.
for sure.
I'll let you know. I'll give you some, we'll actually check your calendar availability, make sure everything can go. Okay.
All right, so before, I just want to say thank you to the students who gave me these beautiful hand-made cards. I don't know if anybody else received them, but for being a mystery reader out of Avocado, love anytime that we can be with the students. And so we are going to adjourn to closed session, and then we'll have the adjournment.
One quick thing. I brought the cooler here. I forgot when we were at the
Snacks?
yes, our snack. We were at the El Capitan Ag Department meat packing facility. I learned from a student that they are the only USDA certified meat packing facility on campus in the United States, and they have sophomores who are winning awards for their meat. So I brought some. It was handed to me as a board member, so I figured it was appropriate to share it with the whole board. So
Well, their principal used to be
they're
around.
frozen in this cooler.
What a smart.